Well, Gigi, thank you for coming on the Red Carpet Roundtable podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I'm excited.
And you're very welcome. Let's dig in briefly. Can you tell the audience and everyone how did you get into this entertainment industry?
It's kind of funny the way I got into it. I've always wanted to be an actor, to be honest, ever since I was little. And I used to perform plays for my parents at their house because we had a tax business and they would be waiting for the next customer and I would just entertain them. So I always knew I was going to be an actress until high school. And then my mother put the kibosh on that because she's like, you need a practical job. You need to be able to support yourself. So she kind of made me get out of acting and go into journalism, which is still a little bit of a creative expression. But I've had the bug for a really long time. And then when my kids were a little bit older, I decided, you know what? I don't know exactly how to get into full-fledged acting, but I know how to get into a haunted house. So I ended up starting off in haunted houses and I would be different characters. My favorite was being a vampire. There was something really interesting about laying in a coffin for 5 hours. So you have to have commitment there. You also have to, you cannot break character. And I decided, I think this is what I want to do. If I could do this as a career, I would. But that's really where I cut my teeth was in haunted houses. And then I started to get into film, into TV shows, and that's where I am today.
Wow, laying in a coffin for 5 hours. That is
Yes.
tough. I don't think I can
Yes.
do that. That is
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
It is tough. That is I get claustrophobic easily. So
Okay.
were you covered? I mean, was it like the lid was on top or were you just was it open?
Sometimes it was closed and then I would open it to scare people. Other times I would lay there like a doll and have my hand hanging out and then they would touch me, then I'd scare them. So it
Okay,
just kind of depended. Just sometimes it was one or the other. But yeah, no,
as
I think I
long
would be,
as
yeah.
long the lid open, I'll be okay because I'm claustrophobic. I
Oh,
can be
yeah.
sometimes because I making sure I don't like to be in a room where you like
Mhm.
elevators, I freak out. I
Oh,
do.
well then yeah, you wouldn't like it closed. No.
Yeah, I take the stairs. That's the truth about me. Everybody know,
Yeah.
almost everybody knows. Um, the acting world, I want to discuss this. It's
Yes.
not easy beasy or not easy, you
No.
know. What have you noticed the challenges up and down in the entertainment industry?
There's a lot of challenges. I think one of the biggest challenges, I think in the upstate where I'm from, I'm in upstate South Carolina, is that we don't have a lot of access to big roles like they do in LA and Atlanta. So I
Mhm.
do some films in Atlanta, but for the most part, it's a lot of filmography that's done in the upstate. And it's really hard to break into that next level. So I think the challenge is really access. If you are in LA or in Atlanta, you probably have access to coaches, networks where you can get into, a little bit higher tier film. Here, unfortunately, is not as much, but I'm hoping to get to that next level. I just got an Atlanta agent that I'm going to be leveraging to help me break into some of those roles.
And it's amazing. Congratulations getting the Atlanta agent. And
Thank you.
I for me, I hope I want to have the entertainment industry grow in every state and big roles in
Yes.
every state. Um, and also, one thing about the entertainment industry is that a lot of people don't realize, and maybe you can say the same, that a lot of young actors who wants to get into the entertainment industry they think that they're gonna get in and get a big role and they're gonna win the
Right.
big, right? Unfortunately, it's not. Um,
Yeah.
and the reason I'm bringing this up is auditions. Woo, auditions, right?
Wow. Yes, they're
Yes.
hard.
What is your story about auditions? Because audition is, you audition for a role, audition for a role, audition for a role. You may audition 20 times, you may not hear anything. Or maybe the 21st
Right.
time you get a role. What is your advice for a lot of young actors or any adults who are getting into the entertainment industry and are thinking, maybe this is not for me because I'm auditioning for 20 times, 30 times, and I'm not getting anything. What is your experience and what's your testimony and encouragement?
Well, I think that if you're thinking of getting into the film industry, you have to set realistic expectations. And I like to think of it as a journey where you take out bite-sized roles, you try to do a little at a time, but don't think you're going to just jump in and then within a year get to be with an A-list actor on a film set, unless you're really, really lucky, or you know somebody, or you won the lottery, basically. You have to get experience working in different types of films. I would say a good way to get into the film industry is through like 48-hour challenges or challenges within your city or community, because there it's a lot of volunteers. You're not getting paid, but you're learning the process very well and you're understanding what it's like to be on set. Um, Once you start to have that experience where you've been in smaller films, you have to learn what it's like to be on set and understanding character analysis, understanding how to approach what is your style that you're going to be using, whether it's method, whether it's some other type. You need to be able to learn and go to classes and learn how to be in this industry before you ever audition. Because if you go to an audition and you don't have experience, which happened to me the very first time, you're going to fail miserably. I think they probably laughed at me once I left the room, and it was a little bit of humble pie, like, oh wow, that was really hard, and I did not feel like I was authentic. So I think getting a lot of experience before you ever audition and just do those volunteer roles, be background on set, network. Sometimes people are just looking for background roles, and you could be talking to somebody in a restaurant and they can say, hey, I have a film. Would you want to be a background? Just be open to the process and be humble. And then once you learn how to do it over and over again and you understand, you go to classes and you learn the process, then I think it's time for you to audition. And then for me, an audition, the way I look at auditions, I try to think of it as a performance. I don't try to think of it as I'm trying to get a role or it's a job. I'm basically performing for, a casting director or a couple of people. And I have fun with it. I try to really play so that if I don't get anything of it, well, at least I just performed and it was a lot of fun and I
Hmm.
got something out of it and I'm growing. And that's the most important thing.
Amazing. That's amazing. That's I totally agree with you. Go to
Mhm.
class if you can, or your friends can make a video, and that's another way to practice as well.
Exactly.
100%. Now acting. Um, you've done a couple of roles.
Mhm.
Which one? I don't want to say favorite, but I'm going to say anyways. Which one,
Okay.
which one is your best or favorite role that you played so far?
I think it's the role that I'm playing right now, which is I'm a lead role in a movie that's being filmed in Charlotte, and it's called The Devil in a Sundress. This role is stretching me in ways I didn't know I could stretch, honestly. It's a psychological thriller, and it has to do with a character who exerts charm and control and basically transforms throughout the film. So
Hmm.
I'm really having to play different characters. There is a lot of archetypes in this film. So it's definitely stretching me as an actor. I wasn't sure if I would be able to learn that many lines because sometimes I'll have, 8 or 9 scenes in a day, but I have been able to do it. There's a process that I've been following. So it's been very complicated, but also very satisfying.
Wow, amazing. And when is it coming out?
I think it's going to be out later this year. We're still filming. It doesn't
Okay.
wrap until the end of August.
Oh, wow.
That'll be our last shoot day. And yeah, it's been all summer and it's just been a really great experience. The characters are great. Our director is wonderful. And so we just had a lot of great experiences. My scene partner who plays my husband, he's amazing. And I've learned a lot from him actually. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
That's awesome. And how do you break into a character, particularly this role?
Yes, this role I've had to really, it's been like a psychological analysis. There's some dark moments in this film, and I'm usually a pretty happy, chipper person, but I've had to go dark. And so sometimes I'll do full method and I'll just get into character at home and nobody talks to me because they're like, oh, she's in that frame of mind. But you have to get into that because you have to be able to embody the character. You cannot just pretend to be that character. You have to live that character. I'm trying to do it justice by really immersing myself in the role. So I do go dark sometimes at home, and my family doesn't like it so much, but I think it's required for the role.
And what do you mean? I want to dig into that. What do you mean you get dark?
Well, it's really sad because like you really do have to reach into past experiences. And I've dealt with a lot of trauma in my life. And I won't even go how far, there's been a lot of trauma, let's just say. And sometimes I'll just have to really understand and get into that place, go back a little
Mm-hmm.
bit and live where I was in that point in my life and understand like, oh, this was very, very hard, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So I'll just get into those memories and I really will immerse myself. And like the next day, if I have to do a scene where I have to do a lot of crying, I'll pull on those memories and that's how I will end up crying because it's real for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's,
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's about a family member and I'll remember something about that family member and it will really come from a place inside me that I didn't know was even there. Anger is the same way. Like I've been really angry. I'm half Latina, so we get very angry. I'm also half Russian, and so I'll pull from that as well. And sometimes I'll fling things, and I wouldn't even know where that came from. It was just came out of my body somehow. So I do have to get into that frame of
Right.
mind a lot. Yeah,
Wow. Getting into character is tough, like you said, and
yeah,
go back in the past, and memory and stuff like that. So,
it
um,
is.
I want to dig into, of course, we talked way earlier, but you worked with actor Billy,
Yes.
and what role did you do with him? And let's dig into that a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Billy and I have been on set husband and wife multiple times, probably more than any other character. But he is like my brother, and I really enjoy working with him because he's a phenomenal actor. He's also really great at networking, so he's taught me a lot. He's kind of like my mentor. But we're doing this film called Regarding Beauregards right now, and it's essentially a dark comedy episodic. And he plays my husband, but we have this love-hate relationship. Basically, he's a philandering husband, and so we've had a lot of fun with the film or the episodic. We've done a lot of B-roll where we're like arguing with each other. There's been a scene where we're singing together, where we actually sing. The two of us sang, and I was really proud of us because, I'm not a singer, he's not a singer, but we did a pretty good job, I'll say, and it will be in the episodic at some point.
Wow, amazing. And
Yeah.
Billy is a great actor for sure. Um,
Yes, he's really good.
and everything. What is any upcoming roles you're doing?
Well, this one has taken up all my time, the film that
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing this summer. So I've had to turn down a couple of roles, but I'm looking into a few in the fall. And then recently was just given a role in Canada. So I'm going to be in a film in Winnipeg. So I'm excited about that as well.
That's I was trying to I knew you were gonna say that because I kind of researched it and I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm so happy for you, getting the role in Canada. Um,
Thank you.
Now, the film industry in your state,
Mhm.
you said, you hope it grows, and I hope it grows as well. Do you feel
Yeah.
like it's growing rapidly, or do you feel like it's slowly growing?
I feel like it's an awareness issue because we're centered so close to Atlanta and we have a lot of the same talent as Atlanta, but I don't think people know that there's all this talent here in the upstate. And we sit right between Charlotte and Atlanta. Charlotte is starting to get some more films there, and I think the upstate has a little bit of a awareness problem. That's it. But if you're willing to travel, if you're willing to go to Atlanta, if you're willing to go to Charlotte, where I do actually get a lot of my crew from Charlotte and Atlanta. So I guess as long as you're flexible,
Hmm.
but no, a lot of people don't realize that we just have so much great crew and cast here in
Hmm.
the upstate. It's
Wow.
hopefully the time is coming when people will start to film here because Greenville, where I live, is beautiful. There's so much. There's waterfalls. There's like country areas. It could be used for so many films. So hopefully people will be
Hopefully, it
aware of it.
grows. Hopefully, it grows for
Exactly.
sure. I know it
Yeah.
will. I want to dig into what is the most pivoted moment in your life?
Wow, that's a big question. The most pivotal moment, I would say probably the birth of my children, to be honest, because I was one of these people. If you look on my yearbook, it was like I was most likely to be a CEO or an actor or something. I never saw kids in my cards. Like I didn't think I was ever going to be a mom. Then the day that I gave birth to my son, it just flipped a switch. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I was meant to do all my life. So I think that's the most exciting role that I've ever had is just to be a mom to these kids and raise them. And I'm so proud of them. They've all turned out wonderfully. And yeah, that's probably my most pivotal moment.
Wow. And if you mind
Yeah.
me asking, you never thought you was to be a mother?
No, I never babysat until honestly, till I had given birth, I had never changed a diaper ever. I didn't like children at that point. I was like, they're annoying, they cry on the plane. I don't want one. And then all of a sudden I had one and I'm like, wow, this is what the meaning of life is for me at least. I mean, I know a lot of people is not the same, but I fell in love and in a different kind of love and that was
Amazing.
raising them. And that's why, honestly, that's why I didn't do acting because I was so immersed in my kids' lives for so long. It became all about them, raising them, teaching them. And I really set aside anything for me was set on the back burner and it was all about them. And then once they got older, I was like, I really have all this creativity inside of me. I got to get it out somehow. I don't like to garden. I want to be an actor. So let me go back. And that's what I did.
That's awesome. And I mean, congratulations being a mother and, you
Thank
know,
you.
you're very welcome. What is your dream role?
Oh, I love that question. I would say honestly, any period piece, I would be all in because I love history. I think the probably my biggest dream role would be something in the 20s or 30s, the Gilded Age. I love that show. I love everything about it. And I sometimes feel like I'm an old soul. I probably would have been better fit in that era just because I really like all the properness of it and the beautiful outfits. So I think that would be amazing if I could do any period piece,
All right, but they didn't
if
have
you hear
technology
that.
back then.
Exactly. And you had to talk to people. I mean, I honestly really love the fact that people would actually drop off calling cards and then you'd have to wait and sit in the sitting room and wait for somebody to come and talk to you. I just think that's just amazing. Like today we have social media.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of it, but I think people need to talk to each other more and not hide
Hmm.
behind a glass screen. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of struggling with that. I know it's so horrible to say this. I love social media.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, I'm trying to get where what you're talking about, talk to people and, get to know people. And I do agree with you. We're kind of not doing that as much as we used to.
Yeah. It's
It's
a
it's
double-edged sword for sure. I mean, social media has its benefits, but I feel like I go to different, I go to a party or something and I see everyone on their phone and no one's actually talking to each other. And I'm like, this isn't right. We should be talking to each other, not communicating with with this device in front of us.
right, 100%. I totally agree with you. What's your favorite genre and your dream genre role?
Dream genre role. You know what's interesting? Probably because where I started in horror movies, I love horror just in general. And so I think any horror film that I could be in. And that was something surprising to me because I didn't realize, like, I'll be honest with you, I'm afraid of haunted houses. The fact that I was in a haunted house is crazy, but that's how I learned all of this
Mm,
is just tricks. It's
mhm.
smoke and mirrors basically. And like when you see blood spattering from someone, oh, they have this little pouch thing and they're squeezing it to cause it to shoot. So it like removes that fear for me and I'm able to appreciate it a lot more. But I love horror. I think it's one of my favorites. In fact, I just watched The Conjuring, which I never would have watched in the past because I
It's
learned
based on a true
a little bit.
story.
That is true, but it was scary, but it was actually very well done. Some of these horror movies are phenomenal, to be
Yes,
honest.
I will admit, The Conjuring is well done.
It,
I
it
am.
is. It really is.
Yeah, and like behind the scenes, if you can really look it up, it's amazing how they do it.
Yeah.
It.
And I avoided all of those for so long because of these unfounded fears.
Hmm.
And now I'm like, oh no, I appreciate horror movies now. And you know what's funny is I've heard that those are the ones that sell the most because people are drawn to them. So yeah, I would say horror probably.
Right. I love horror movies, and I mean, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
What was the most unusual thing you ever done to prepare for a role?
Oh, that's a good question. Unusual. Um, well, one of the things that I've had to do recently is I speak Spanish and I speak a little bit of French, but I'm really good at accents for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's probably my upbringing and
Hmm.
a lot of people around me, like I did interact a lot with the Spanish speaking people. So there was a role I auditioned for recently where I had to get into character and use a Spanish accent. And so that was a little bit fun because, it's a different character. They're a lot more expressive. They use their hands a lot. So I think that was probably my favorite, having to audition with that Spanish speaking role.
Wow. And how often do you get your Spanish roles?
I've had one where I had to use my accent. And then there was another where I actually spoke Spanish and it was at a funeral.
Hmm.
And that was not too long ago, actually. And it was a lot of fun. It's
Oh,
great to
wow.
speak other languages.
Hmm.
Yeah.
If you could go back in history, what time period? I know you said you already said one, but what
Yeah.
other time period would you like to go back to?
Well, I also happen to love Outlander. So I would say 1700s Scotland would be great because I think that whole era is gorgeous. So definitely England, Scotland in the 1700s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, you like the long time ago histories.
I do. I do. Well, and then if you're thinking not so long ago, I truly think that the 70s was a lot of fun. I was born at the end of it, but
Hmm.
um I've always wanted to do a 70s disco as a vampire.
Okay.
I think that could be a lot of fun. It could be kind of campy, but
Hmm.
70s vampire disco, yeah, something
Yeah,
like that.
100%. Um, is there well, I don't want to say particular, but who is your dream actor or actress you would like to work with?
Okay, so I would say if I could go back in time, it would be Vivian Lee because Gone with the Wind is my favorite movie of all time. And for me, that movie is the epitome of what a big movie is. Like, it had everything in it. It had the sets, it had the actors, it had the story to tell. Vivian Lee to me is probably the top actor that I really admire. The other one, though, I would say is Meryl Streep because she's the GOAT. And I think I would learn so much from her being on set.
Yeah, she
Those
is
are
the
my two
GOAT.
favorite. Yeah. But I also there's some actors that I like Anthony Hopkins. Being from Texas, I like Matthew McConaughey a lot. I think he's just so much fun. So
Oh,
there's a
yes.
whole lot of actors. Yeah.
I totally agree with you. And since you're a mother,
Hmm.
I ask everybody this if they're a parent. So, being in the entertainment industry, you have kids that want to get into this industry, and it is tough, thick skin. You got to get used to negative comments, social media or in public. Um, so your advice as a mother, who, anybody who be watching this or listening to it on a podcast, what is your advice for any future upcoming next generation of young kids, young adults, especially kids who want to be in the entertainment industry and their parents don't know what to do? What is your advice for the kids and the parents, especially the parents?
Yeah. I think you have to tread carefully in this industry because of social media. Your kids are going to be exposed in ways that you can't even imagine. And you need to know your child. If your child is pretty strong, mentally and can take, criticism, can understand that maybe compartmentalize, it's not about you, it's about your performance, then that child, if they're a little bit more mature, would be fine. But there's some kids that would devastate them. And I think you have to know as a parent what type of child you have. My children, they would not do well in the industry because they hold their emotions pretty close to their heart. And also they don't want to be in the industry. I've tried to get them into it, but it just depends on the type of child. Me as a child, I would have been fine because people would, make fun of me all the time. I got made fun of a lot. There's many reasons why when I was a kid. But I was able to just say, you know what, like kind of that sticks and stones thing. You just have to like let it roll off your back and just keep going. And I was a tough kid like that.
Mhm.
So that's what I would say. It depends.
That's a very good message. I appreciate that. Again, I ask that to any parents who comes on my show who are in the
Yeah.
entertainment industry to give it their ideas and their message. Because every parent's different who give their message.
Hmm.
Or if parents and their kids are already in the entertainment industry, I love to let the audience and everybody know that because you're right, it is a tough industry,
For
and
sure.
you know, I want to say it's normal,
Hmm.
and it's people are like, "What do you mean it's normal?" But being in the entertainment industry, you look at Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise or Tom Hanks, you're gonna have everybody out there, they're gonna say, "Well, I'll never see a Tom Cruise movie or I'll never see a Tom Hanks movie," and you ask them why, right? And they're gonna give you this little small critic. And so I'm pretty sure like they're used to it as well. But you're right. It is like thick. If you can handle the
Yeah.
comments, if you can handle the negative comments, then you're okay. If not, then unfortunately probably not right for you yet. And you're right.
Right.
The parents need to know their kids. So I totally agree with you.
Yeah. And it depends on your motivation for being in the industry.
Hmm.
If it's because it's something you love and like, for me, it's innate. I have to get it out of my body. I don't care what other people think necessarily. I care what
Amen.
I think. I care what my family thinks. But if they're going to say stuff about me, that's a you problem, not a me problem. And I just need to know, you know what? I'm not going to be everything for everybody. And
You
that's
just said it
okay.
right there.
Yeah.
Amen. You said it right there. You just did. That is the message right
Thank
there.
you.
You
Thank
really
you.
did. And I can tell that is a mother speaking right
Yes.
there. Mother speaking, parents speaking right there.
Yes.
You're 100% right. I totally agree with you. Um, you know, being in the entertainment industry, um, you know, everybody, I think you agree as well that we wish the fans and the audience would give credit to every single one of us, including the TV set crew, the film crew,
Mhm.
because when you're making films, right? I'm not me, but all of us, when you go see a film in the movie theater, you see the actors doing all those stunts and everything, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, that was a great movie." And to me, when I leave the movie theater, I kind of think in the back of my head, it's a good movie, but I tell myself, thank the crew. Thank the
Yes.
crew, right? Or the TV show. Thank the TV show and the crew. Same thing with the talk show industry as well, music industry and everything. If the film crew is not there, then there's no movie made. So
Right.
that's one
Hmm.
thing I want to say, and I just wish we were talking more about it because, I just want the audience to realize, yes, you can say it's a great movie, thank the actors and everything, but let's not forget about the film crew, the TV crew. That's the light. If you can admit this is too, that if one person who's a light crew is missing, then the film may not go successfully wonderful, right? So that's the
Oh,
thing.
yeah. I completely agree with you 1,000%. My very first role in a film was as a zombie, and it was a movie called On the Run, directed by a friend of mine, Isaac Stovall, who's a creative genius, by the way. But it taught me how to be part of an ensemble and how all the parts fit in, like you're saying. All the crew, they're so integral and important to creating these great films. And people don't really realize all the different parts of the film. Like you have your director of photography to the gaffers to the HMU, which are critical in making that story believable. And then one that like I didn't even know about was sound, how critical sound is. I was at a 48 hours film festival, and a lot of the films you could tell the sound was just not as good. And you're realizing, wow, you need to make sure that you have really strong crew for every single part of the film because
Mhm.
one little thing could ruin the film for you. It's
100%.
it's like the world's most complicated orchestra.
I mean, I'm not trying to laugh, but it's the truth what you
It
just said
it
right
is.
there.
Yeah. So, I crews. I know a lot of great crew here in the upstate. So if y'all need any recommendations, just let me know.
Yeah, you're right. It's just, I wish people knew that. that the film crew, the TV show crew is important. And the reason I talk passionately about this is that I just want the audience to realize, yes, we are working hard. Yes,
Mhm.
the film crew, the light crew, but if they're not there, one person's missing, then
Yes.
not good, right? You know,
It's so true. You know what, one thing that I've done recently that I've been recommending is be on set in a crew position, because then you have that empathy. You understand exactly what they're going through. I just recently was first AD on a film, and I was like, this is really hard. I have to keep track of the shot list. I'm running around like a crazy person. I'm like, it makes me appreciate all the crew positions so much more. Next, I'm going to try sound, but I think I'm going to butcher it. So I'm a little scared. But yeah, I think it's important that you have that empathy.
I think you'll do great. I think you'll
Thank
do great. And to be honest, you're right. It's the crew, the everything comes together. So, and by the way, you'll do great with sound crew. You will do great.
I
So,
hope so. I hope so. I do want to learn because I feel
mhm,
like that is probably one area, one where it's really hard to find people that are good sound crew, and also, or sound mixers. Also, it's something that my son is actually interested in that. So I kind of want to learn the ropes a little bit so
right.
that maybe he could do it someday, because I think there's an opportunity.
And I want to leave it with this. Someone told me can't is not a word. You can do it. That's the
That's
thing.
true.
You
Yeah,
can.
that's a great perspective. Yeah.
Yes. So, um, I want to go off on to a little bit about you.
Okay.
I know you're a mother.
Yes.
What does actress Gigi do for fun? And do you have any hidden talents that nobody knows about except your family?
Okay, well, actor Gigi doesn't have a lot of time because actor Gigi is also not only a full-time mom, but also I work for a healthcare company full-time. So, but if I were to say one thing, I was a really good dancer. I was a cheerleader at one point, and I actually cheered in the Aloha Bowl. I won All-American cheerleader. So I'm very athletic, and I love to dance and I love to perform. So yeah, I think I could get my groove on and people would be surprised that I can still do
Wow.
it. Yeah.
So not you're busy, you work full time and all that. Do you have any siblings? And if so, I'm gonna ask, are they in the entertainment industry?
Yes, I have siblings, and no, they're not in the entertainment industry, although they should be. One of them especially. But no, I'm the only
So,
one.
how does your family how did your family and sibling feel that you were getting into the entertainment industry? They thought you were crazy? If I'm just saying, I'm just asking, I'm just saying.
No, they already thought I was crazy, so this just made me more crazy. But I like to keep people on their toes and do things that they're not expecting. So no, but I think they're excited for me. It's just they're like, there she goes again, doing something different. But what they don't realize is this is something that I've been wanting to do for so long, and I'm not going away. I mean, I'm just gonna keep at it. I don't know if I'll ever get a big role or not, but I just love what I do. I honestly do.
That's true. You got to love what you're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
What's your long-term and short-term goal?
My short-term goal is to finish this film because it's been hard. It's very much an emotional roller coaster. My long-term goal is to be in a Hallmark film. I would love to be in Hallmark film. I'm one
I
of
know
these
you can
cheesy
do it.
people that loves Hallmark films.
I know you can do it. I know you can.
Yeah, that's
To be honest, I can see the passion in you. I really
thank
do.
you.
Um, you know, and being in the entertainment industry, we're here to tell people stories, you know. So what's your personal story being in the entertainment industry?
When I remember, I mentioned that I used to do little plays and I would dance and sing for my parents' customers. The thing that I loved about it the most, it wasn't so much that I was performing, it was the fact that they would be smiling and for a few moments they forgot about all their problems. And to me, I want to do that more. I want to be able to make people forget their daily lives and just immerse themselves in something I'm doing. So it's really about bringing emotion to people, like whether it's making them laugh or making them cry, touching their heartstrings. I want that to be part of my story, to be able to touch people in some way.
Amazing. If you
Yeah.
could go back and tell a 7-year-old Gigi,
Mhm.
what would you tell her right now?
I would tell her to keep going. I would tell her don't give up. I would say don't listen to the haters. Don't listen to your mom. You know, if you really want to do something, try to figure out a way to do it. I should never have stopped doing plays when I was younger. It's like I set that aside for somebody else. So be true to who you are. And if that's what you want to do, try it. I mean, the worst is like what they say, there's a phrase that says, you know, shoot for the moon and hopefully you'll land among the stars. So I would say just keep going.
Don't listen to your mom. Just
I
don't
know,
listen.
I know. I shouldn't have listened to her. I really shouldn't have, but yeah, here we are.
What a great advice.
Sorry, moms. Yeah, no, I mean, listen to your soul and your heart. What makes you happy? And then try to figure out how to convince others who don't think it's the right thing to do. My mother, she meant well, and so I don't ding her for that, but she also didn't know me. And I wish now
Mhm.
that I had had a bigger voice. I wish I had fought a little harder, to be honest.
Right. I just had to give you a little hard time about that because you were like,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, my kids don't listen to that advice. You listen to your mom.
what is the best advice you ever heard or received?
The best advice? Oh, it's probably from my acting coach. He said, learn your lines so well. I mean, make it part of who you are. You have to understand the rationale behind the lines, and then you learn the lines. But once you learn the lines, learn how to play. And if you can do your lines while you're washing dishes or, you know, walking your dog, I sometimes I'll do my lines when I'm walking around the mall. People probably wonder why I'm talking to myself. But if you can do something else while you're saying your lines, then when you actually go on set, you'll be able to play. You'll be able to bring out stuff that you didn't know you had in you.
That's amazing. That's a good advice.
Yeah.
100%. Where can people find you and connect with you and stay updated on your upcoming projects and etc.?
So I'm on Instagram, Gigi Knopf, and I'm also on Facebook. I have an IMDb. I also I started Ghostlight Films, so we actually have a site for that as well. So yeah, just reach out to me on social media. I do like social media. I'm not trying to say it's horrible. I just think we should be able to talk to each other too. Yeah,
Right. I
connect with
totally
me, please.
understand. 100%. I
Yeah,
really do. Well, Gigi, it's been an honor.
it's been my honor. Thank you. No,
No,
you've been great.
thank you for coming on, and I look forward to having you back on and talking to you again soon.
Yeah, maybe after that Hallmark movie I book. I hope.
Yes,
Fingers crossed.
yes.
Awesome.
And I would love to talk more about the film that you're working on, and let the audience know more about it. And I totally
Oh
understand you
yeah,
can't, I totally understand you can't talk much about it because, it's still in production. So,
yeah.
when it comes out, I would love to have you talk more about it and let the audience tune in more.
Oh, I love that. Yes, please
Well, thank,
do. Please reach
yes,
out.
yes, I will.
Awesome.
And thank you for following
Okay.
me on Instagram.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
it means a lot, and we'll definitely stay in touch. And I look forward to speaking with you soon.
You too. Yeah, no, this has been great, and I look forward to seeing some more of your podcasts. So thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for support and everything. That's one real quick, that's the one thing I love about the entertainment industry. We're a family. We
We are.
support each
Yeah.
other. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
what state we're living in. And then, and I do agree with you real quick about social media, but we love the support, the family support, and
Mhm.
that's the key. Gotta have support, and help us continue our journey. Because you never know, I would say that when we find the person that we connect with, you never know if that person's going to help you get that big hump and that big role.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, what happened?
Yeah.
So
Well,
I totally appreciate you coming on and the connections we are getting with everybody in the entertainment industry.
yeah. No, I actually watched several of your podcasts, and they're very interesting. You do a really good job. So thank you.
It means a lot from the bottom of my
Yeah.
heart. It really does because we gotta love what we're doing. That's the key. We gotta
100%.
love what we're doing. We gotta have passion what we're doing, courage, but it's really passion and love. If we don't love what we're doing, then I hate to say this, why continue? All right.
Amen.
Why
Amen.
continue? You
Yep.
gotta love it, all right? And the passion. That's the key. Those are my two things. Love what you're
Yeah.
doing, the passion. Go for it,
Yeah.
right? Wake up the next day, and if you don't love what you're doing anymore, then you can stop. But if you love what you're doing, you go for it and keep going,
Yeah.
keep going. That's the thing I love, the courage
Yeah.
and love.
That's
So,
my personal motto. Being from Texas, our saying is go big or go home. And that's so true. You either go big or you go home.
yes, ma'am. That's true. So we go big.
We're going to go big. Yes, both of
Yes,
us.
ma'am. So I
We're
would love,
manifesting it.
yes, we're manifesting it 100%. So thank you again. I look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Yes, me too. Take care.
You
Thank you so
too.
much.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.